Babies. Bigots. Really. That's what we're taking a deep dive into today. We've got some scientific papers to look at
Okay.
and an interview with Dr. Kang Lee. He's from the University of Toronto.
Okay.
He led this research, and
Interesting stuff.
it's wild, right? The studies are suggesting that babies
Yeah.
as young as 6 months old can show signs of racial bias.
Yeah, these studies really caught my eye, too.
Yeah.
Researchers used music
Okay.
to sort of bring out certain emotions in babies.
Okay.
And while that was happening, they showed the babies pictures of faces
Okay.
from different races.
Okay.
With happy music, 6-month-old babies looked longer at faces that were the same race as them. And then with sad music, they looked longer at the faces of a different race.
Okay, I gotta say, I'm raising an eyebrow here a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you even measure something like bias
No,
in babies?
It is a tricky thing to study.
Yeah.
But to measure their visual attention, they kept track of how long the babies looked at the images.
Oh.
And to your point, Dr. Lee doesn't actually call these babies bigots.
Okay, good.
He's very clear about that.
Okay.
In fact, the research showed that babies who were 3 months old didn't show this bias at all.
Okay.
So that kind of throws a wrench in the idea that we're born with racial bias.
So if it's not innate, where does it come from? I think I'd probably jump to the conclusion that it's, evolutionary,
Right.
hardwired.
Yeah, it makes sense to think that.
Yeah.
But Dr. Lee actually suggests something else.
Okay.
He says it's about exposure.
Okay.
He thinks babies who are mostly around one race develop this bias
Okay.
because they aren't familiar with other races.
Mm-hmm.
And then that unfamiliarity can make them uneasy
Okay.
or even lead to some negative associations.
So they're learned, not inborn.
Exactly.
That makes a lot more sense when you consider that the 3-month-olds didn't have any bias. But is there anything in the research itself that proves this idea of learned bias?
There is.
Okay.
A second study
Yeah.
looked at how babies learn from adults
Okay.
of different races.
Okay.
And when the adults were always right or always wrong about something,
Okay.
the babies learned the same from both of them,
Okay.
regardless of race.
Interesting.
But when the adults were only right half the time,
Okay.
the babies preferred to learn from the adult who was the same race as them.
Oh, so when they're not sure, they stick with what they know?
Yeah.
That really shows how much early experiences affect us,
Right.
even when we're really little.
And that's a big takeaway for everyone listening.
Yeah.
It shows just how much early exposure can shape our attitudes
Yeah.
and our biases as we grow up.
It starts way sooner than we think.
Definitely.
Now, in the interviewer brought up something that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
They said maybe the government should get involved based on these findings.
Oh, wow.
They were worried this research would be used to justify, controlling how babies are raised.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
People can definitely misinterpret scientific findings.
Right.
But Dr. Lee really pushed back on that idea.
Okay.
He said this research is not about government control. It's about showing how important parents and diverse experiences are.
So instead of the government stepping in, Dr. Lee is saying we should give babies a more diverse world from the very beginning.
Exactly.
Okay.
He even suggested things like
Yeah.
showing babies different faces and cultures through storybooks and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just broadening their horizons early on.
But the interviewer wasn't really buying it.
Hmm.
They said this research would probably be used to justify government programs anyway,
Wow.
even though Dr. Lee said it shouldn't.
What did Dr. Lee say to that?
Well, he said he hopes that won't happen,
Okay.
but he kept going back to the main point of the study,
Okay.
that early experiences from parents are super important in shaping how a kid sees the world.
It's about giving parents the tools to create an environment
Yeah.
where kids can be open-minded and accepting.
It's interesting that he talked about introducing different cultures and languages.
Yeah.
It really shows how important exposure and familiarity are
Right.
for fighting bias, even in babies.
Absolutely.
But this interview brings up some bigger questions, too.
Like what?
Well, if something as simple as exposure
Yeah.
can have such a big impact on a baby's developing mind,
Right.
what does that mean for our own experiences? And what does it mean for us as adults?
That's a great question.
It makes you think, right?
It does.
If exposure is that crucial even when we're babies,
Yeah.
how much do our childhood experiences continue to shape how we see things throughout our lives? Kind of scary when you think about it.
It is a bit. Yeah.
Back again with our deep dive into babies and bias.
It's okay.
And we've been talking about this research from Dr. Kang Lee. That suggests that babies can show signs of racial bias as early as 6 months old.
It's really something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
Yeah. One of the things that really gets me thinking about this research is
Mhm.
that it goes way beyond just babies.
Oh, okay.
It's really about
Yeah.
how all our brains work,
Okay.
how we form our perceptions,
Okay.
how those perceptions maybe shape our actions even later in life.
So this could be like a window into how humans interact socially.
Yeah. And what's cool is
Yeah.
it challenges that idea
Yeah.
that we're born with fixed ideas about race
Okay.
or other social categories.
Right.
Instead, it says those ideas are built over time
Mm.
and they're influenced by our experiences in our environment.
That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
But also a little concerning.
Right.
It means any of us could develop biases even if we don't want to.
That's true.
Yeah.
But there's a bright side, too.
Okay.
If we learn these biases, we can unlearn them, too.
Okay.
The more we get how our brains work,
Yeah.
the better we can challenge our own biases
Right.
and try to make the world a fairer place.
So what can we do, like practically,
Mm.
to encourage people to be more inclusive?
Well, Dr. Lee says it's really important to expose kids to diversity early on.
Oh, so like how?
Well, it could be things like
Yeah.
letting them experience books and music and art from different cultures,
Okay.
or creating chances for them to hang out with people from different backgrounds.
So it's about showing them a bigger picture of the world?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's also about challenging those hidden biases
Yeah.
that can lead to prejudice and discrimination.
And this isn't just for kids, right? Adults need to do this too.
You got it.
Yeah.
We're all responsible for looking at our own biases
Yeah.
and working to break them down.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's important work.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about realizing that to make a fairer world,
Yeah.
everyone needs to put in the effort.
It starts with understanding how much early experiences shape us
Right.
and then doing something about it.
Exactly.
One thing that really struck me about this interview
Yeah.
was how cynical the interviewer was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they seemed to think that Dr. Lee's research should be used in the wrong way, like to justify government intervention.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like they were waiting for the other shoe to drop.
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
How research can be twisted
Right.
to fit certain agendas.
Yeah.
We all need to be careful about the information we come across.
Right.
And question what we're told.
Yeah.
And really think about the consequences of any research.
So it's not just about the science itself.
Yeah.
It's about how people use it.
Exactly.
That brings us back to what we as individuals can do
Right.
to create a more inclusive and fair society.
Yeah.
It feels so huge,
I know what you mean.
Where do you even start?
It can feel overwhelming when
Yeah.
you look at the big picture. Yeah.
That
Exactly.
even little things can make a difference.
Like what?
Well, for one, we can all try to learn more
Yep.
about
Yeah.
the history of racism and other forms of oppression.
Okay.
We can look for different perspectives
Well.
and challenge our own assumptions and biases,
Yeah.
and we can support organizations
Right.
that are working to promote equality and justice.
So it's not just about big gestures.
No,
It's the everyday stuff, too.
it's about being aware of how we impact the world
right.
and making choices that reflect our values.
Okay.
It's about speaking up against injustice when
Yeah.
we see it.
It's a journey, isn't it?
It is.
It never really ends.
That's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
We're always learning,
Right.
always growing, always adapting.
And the more we do that,
Yeah.
the more we help create a better world,
A more just world.
a more compassionate world.
Exactly.
They've talked a lot about early exposure to diversity,
Right.
but what about people who didn't have that?
Like, what if you grew up in a place where everyone was pretty much the same?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is it too late to unlearn those biases?
That's something a lot of people worry about.
Yeah.
But the good news is,
Yeah.
it's never too late to learn and grow.
Oh, okay.
Our brains are amazing.
Yeah.
Even as adults, they can change.
Okay.
So even though those early experiences are powerful,
Yeah.
they don't mean we're stuck with the same views we had as kids.
So there's hope for everyone,
Absolutely.
even if we have some unlearning to do.
It might take more work,
Okay.
more conscious effort,
Yeah.
but it's possible.
So how do we find those hidden biases,
Mm.
the ones we've had since we were kids?
There are lots of ways to deal with implicit bias.
Okay.
What works best depends on the person.
Right.
Some people like to think about themselves,
Okay.
write in a journal,
Okay.
or do mindfulness exercises
Hmm.
to become more aware of their thoughts and feelings.
Makes sense.
Others find it helpful to get feedback
Yeah.
from people they trust.
Like friends and family.
Yeah, or colleagues.
Okay.
People who can give them a different perspective.
So it's about looking inward, but also being open to what others have to say.
Exactly.
Right.
And remember, this isn't a one-time thing.
Right.
It's a constant process.
Yeah.
There's no magic solution to get rid of all our biases.
Okay.
It's about always trying to be more aware,
Right.
more informed,
Yeah.
and more compassionate.
In how we treat others.
Yeah,
It's a lot to think about,
it is.
but it's definitely important.
It's the foundation for a truly just and fair society.
I agree.
It starts with recognizing
Yeah.
that we're all connected
Yeah.
and that our choices affect everyone else.
Absolutely.
And it's about believing that change is possible.
Even when things seem really tough,
Exactly.
this deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Yeah, it's given us a lot to consider
For sure.
about our own biases
Yeah.
and how they develop.
But before we wrap up, I want to go back to one part of the research.
Okay.
We talked a lot about exposure to diversity,
Right.
but how did Dr. Lee actually study that in babies?
That's a great point.
Like, how did he measure the impact of that exposure?
Well, one study he did focused on visual attention.
Okay.
He wanted to see how babies react to faces of different races
Yeah.
when they hear different emotional cues.
So he used music to make them feel certain emotions
Yeah,
and then watched how they reacted to different faces.
exactly.
That's really clever.
They played two kinds of music,
Okay.
happy music and sad music.
Okay.
And while the music was playing,
Yeah.
they showed the babies pictures of faces from different races.
Okay.
And then they carefully measured how long the babies looked at each face.
Oh, so by watching how long they looked,
Right.
they could tell if the babies had any preference for one race over another,
That's right.
depending on the music.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And what they found was
Yeah.
when babies heard happy music, they looked longer at faces of their own race.
Hmm.
But when they heard sad music,
Yeah.
they looked longer at faces of a different race.
Wow. So even as babies,
Right.
they're already connecting race and emotion.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
What does it all mean?
Well, Dr. Lee thinks
Mm.
it could be about familiarity.
Okay.
Babies who are only used to seeing one race
Yeah.
might find faces of other races a little strange, and that could make them feel uncomfortable.
Especially when they're hearing sad music.
Right.
So it's not that they don't like other races.
No.
It's just that they feel more drawn to what they know.
Especially in situations that might make them feel bad.
Right.
It shows how strong early exposure is
Yeah.
and how it can affect how we see and respond to the world.
This makes me think about my own childhood. I grew up around a lot of different people, so I was exposed to different races and cultures from a really young age.
That's great.
I wonder if that has shaped my own biases in ways I don't even realize.
It's definitely something to consider.
Yeah.
We all carry those early experiences with us,
Right.
and they can have a lasting effect on how we interact with others.
If early exposure is so important,
Yeah.
what can parents and caregivers do to make sure kids see diversity?
That's a question a lot of parents are asking these days.
Yeah.
One simple thing they can do is expose their kids to diverse books, movies, and TV shows.
Okay.
Representation is important.
Yeah.
When kids see people who look like them
Yeah.
and people who don't look like them
Right.
represented in positive ways,
Okay.
it helps them understand the world better
Okay.
and challenge stereotypes.
So it's about making sure they see a wide range of experiences,
Exactly.
not just what's familiar to them.
Right.
And it's not just media, right? It's about interacting with people, too.
Yeah, like enrolling them in diverse schools or childcare or
Yeah.
taking them to community events
Right?
or even just making an effort to talk to people from different cultures.
It's about making diversity normal,
Yeah.
not something unusual
Right.
when kids grow up around diversity.
Yeah.
It just becomes part of their world.
Right.
And they're less likely to develop biases.
Based on race, ethnicity, or anything else.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
But if these biases are so ingrained from childhood, how do they show up in our adult lives?
That's a question we'll look at more closely when we come back.
Okay.
We'll talk about how these early biases can shape our perceptions,
Okay.
influence our choices,
Right.
and even affect our relationships throughout our lives.
And we're back, wrapping up our deep dive on babies and bias today. So far, we've learned some pretty interesting things
Yeah.
about how early experiences can affect how we see race
Right.
and how those perceptions can turn into biases.
Even when we're really young.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we pick up in those first few years.
It is.
It really shows how important it is to create environments
Yeah.
that are inclusive
Yeah.
and challenge those early biases. We've talked about things parents and caregivers can do
Right.
to expose kids to diversity and encourage inclusivity.
Yeah.
But it's not just about what individuals do, right?
Got it.
We have to think about the bigger picture of society, too.
Exactly. We can't just focus on individual kids
Right.
without looking at how society as a whole influences them.
Right.
Things like media representation, cultural norms, and systemic inequalities
Yeah.
all play a role in creating and keeping biases alive.
It's like we're surrounded by messages about race,
Right.
gender, and other social categories.
All the time.
And all those messages shape how we see the world and ourselves.
Think about the images we see on TV, the stories we hear about different groups, even how resources and opportunities are divided up.
Yeah.
It all contributes to bias.
So how do we go beyond just protecting kids from negative influences? How do we actually build a society that's fair for everyone?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
It starts with awareness. We need to understand the history of systemic inequality, how it still affects us today.
Right.
And we need to listen to the people who have been marginalized.
So we need to be critical of the messages we get,
Right.
be open to challenging what we think we know,
Yeah.
and learn about the realities of systemic bias.
We have to realize that bias isn't just a personal thing.
Exactly.
It's built into our institutions and policies.
Right.
And to get rid of those systems of oppression,
Yeah.
we need to work together.
Collective action is key.
We can all play a part.
Right. Absolutely.
We can support organizations fighting for equity and justice.
Yes.
And we can push for policies that promote fairness and equality.
You're everyone.
And we need to hold each other accountable.
Right.
Remember that we're all connected,
We are.
and our choices affect everyone.
It's a ripple effect.
This research from Dr. Lee really makes you think.
It does.
It's kind of scary,
Yeah.
but also hopeful.
It is, in a way.
It's scary because it shows how deep bias can be. Right, from when we're babies to when we're adults.
But it's also hopeful because it shows we're not just stuck this way.
Yeah, we're not just wired for bias.
If something as simple as seeing diversity can change those biases in babies,
Right.
imagine what we can do as adults.
We have so much potential to learn, grow, and change.
And it all starts with being aware.
That's the first step.
That's a great point to end on.
Yeah.
Challenging bias is a journey.
It's a process.
It takes effort, but it's worth it.
Every step we take toward understanding each other better
Yeah,
brings us closer to a world that's more just and fair.
I agree. Well said.
Thanks.
I think this deep dive has given everyone a lot to think about,
I hope so.
both about our own biases and the bigger picture of how they develop.
It's complex stuff.
But hey, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into babies and bias.
It's been great talking about this with you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep working to make the world a better place.
Couldn't have said it better myself.